Okay, so what we're going to start on for this week, week 6, your first lesson is over box plots. So I have a picture of a box plot up here on a number line. If you don't have a printer, go ahead and pause your video and try to sketch this in real quick because we're going to label this box plot. Okay, so to do some vocab real quick and then we'll label. So a box plot displays, we could say, let's say 5 important numbers. There's going to be a 6th number that we're going to look for, but it's really about 5 important key numbers here. So the smallest piece of data, this is called your minimum. Your minimum. So when we're looking at the box plot, you're really looking at like the whiskers here on these two sides. This is your lowest side, your smallest number, and this is your highest or your biggest number. So minimum, the smallest piece of data would be down here, and I'm going to put a little dot. Most box plots will have dots. This one just doesn't. So we could say whatever number that is, about 3, is our minimum. So I'm just going to write min. So you remember that's your minimum number. If they ever ask you what's the minimum, it's the number that's on the farthest left. Okay, the next one, the median of the lower half of data. This is called your first quartile, or Q1. So I know this seems a little confusing. Just kind of get the notes down, give it some time to kind of soak in, and then we'll get to the actual practice to where you'll understand what the numbers actually are. So the first quartile, or Q1, is the median. Remember, it's the middle of the lower half of data. So you're going to look for a line on the box plot. The line that's on the left side of the box, this is your Q1. Okay, that line on the left side, this line right here is your first quartile, or your Q1. Okay. Then we have the median of the data, just the median. This is called the median. Remember, it's the middle number. It's also where that line is going through your box. It's not always in the middle of the box. You'll see on box plots, you'll have this line kind of all over the place, but it's always the line that's inside the box. This is called your median. Move it down a little bit. All right, and then we have the median of the upper half. So it's not the second quartile, because technically this is your second quartile. We have first, second, and then you're looking for the third quartile, or Q3. That's the median of the upper half. So if Q1 is the left side of the box, Q3 is the right side of the box, the third quartile. Okay? And then the largest piece of data, the smallest was called the minimum, the largest is called the maximum. Okay? That's the largest piece. So if this is the minimum, all the way over here, you can create a little dot, is your max. Okay? And then finally we have, it's a long one, so bear with me, interquartile range. It's the difference between the first and the third quartiles. Okay, all it is you have the box, so this is your Q1, your Q3. This whole box is your IQR, or your interquartile range. Okay, so whatever number they give you for Q3 and Q1, you just subtract, and that gives you the value of this whole box. That's all that interquartile range is. Okay, so let's move on to some examples where we'll actually practice this. Pause the video if you don't have this paper. Just pause the video so you can work on the numbers with me, and you can practice drawing the box plot, because that's going to be really helpful for you. Alright, so example 1, the following data represents the number of animal crackers in the snack box. 34, 50, 49, 47, 48, 45, and 48. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite it from least to greatest, just like we've been practicing on the last week's lesson. So if we rewrite it, we have 34, 45, 47, 48, 48, 49, and 50. Okay, so make sure you always rewrite it from least to greatest, otherwise it's going to be all messed up. So we can start filling in our important numbers just by looking here. So if we look at our minimum, our lowest number is 34. So we could just say minimum is 34. And if we're looking for maximum, our max number is the highest number, so it's 50. I already have two of those values. So now remember median. We've practiced finding the median. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in from both sides at the same time and try to get to the middle number. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So our median is 48. Now, Q1 and Q3 is where it gets a little bit different. So we have the median. If you have one number in the middle, you're just going to ignore that number and circle the numbers on the left and the right. They're going to make their own little sections. So this is how you find Q1. This is your upper half, and this is your lower half. So our Q1, or our first quartile, is the median of this upper half. So we got to figure out, okay, cross it off one at a time to get to the middle, and that number left in the middle is your Q1. So 45 is our first quartile, or Q1. And then you go to the lower half, okay, or the upper half, I'm sorry, and this is how you get your Q3, or your third quartile. So we have 1, 1, and then I'm left with 49 in the middle. So 49 is my third quartile. So now that you have all of this data, we can go ahead and draw our box plot. So our minimum, and you don't have to be perfect when it comes to the number line, this is just, estimation. Try to eye it as best you can. So 34 is going to be a little bit above 35, and I'm going to draw it above it. I'll put a dot. So that's telling me that's my minimum number, 34. And then I'm going to do the maximum, because I like to just give myself kind of work back and forth. So 50 is our max, and that's my highest dot. Now, the median, I'm going to draw a line where the median I think is going to be. So it's about 48, so I'm thinking right in between. It's about here. Just draw a line. That's your median. Now we're going to create the box with Q1 and Q3. Remember, Q1 is the left side of the box, and Q3 is the right side of the box. So Q1 is at 45. So I'm going to go right above 45. Draw a line. And Q3 is the right, and it's right next to that 48, so it's a little next to the other line. And draw a line. Now you have 3 lines, just create a box around that middle line. Okay? And then the last thing that you have to do is draw your whiskers. Your little lines on the side, and there's your box plot. Alright? To find the interquartile range, the IQR, you just do Q3 minus Q1, which means you just do 49 minus 45, which is 4. And that's your interquartile range. So that means this is 4, we can say 4 crackers. Okay? All right, example 2. I want you to work it out. Well, I'll work it out with you, actually. So let's just go ahead and rewrite the numbers in order. So we have 7, 9, 9, 10, 10, 12, 14, and 15. So this is data representing the number of hours that a small candle will burn. So let's figure out our minimum. Our minimum is the lowest number, so 7 is our minimum, and 15 is our maximum, our highest number. Now let's find the median, because that's pretty easy. So we'll just go work on the outsides and work your way to the middle and see what we have. So we have 7, 15. So this is 1, 2, 3, and we're stuck with two numbers in the middle with 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line in between those. And since they're the same number, if I have 10 and 10, that means my median is 10. If you had 2 different numbers, you would have to find the average. You'd add those up and divide by 2. But we found the median is 10. Now I'm going to circle the left side of the lower half for my Q1 and the right side of the upper half for my Q3. Now we just find the median of those sides. So cross it out. I'm left with 9 and 9. Well, if I just add 9 plus 9 divided by 2, I'd get 9. So we can just leave it alone and say it's 9. And then here, cross them off one at a time, and I'm left with two numbers. Well, think of what number is in between 12 and 14. You don't have to really do all the math. You could just say, well, I know 13. So there you go. And all we have left to do is draw our box plot. So our minimum is at 7, so it's a little bit over here. Our max is above 15. Our median, so I'm going to go above this 10 and draw a line. Our Q1 is the left side of the box, so it's right next to 10, it's at 9. And then Q3 is the right side of the box, so I'm going to say it's a little bit in between over here, at 13. So I'm going to complete my box, draw my whiskers, there's my box plot, and I want to figure out what is the IQR, or the interquartile range. I'm doing Q3 minus Q1, which is 13, minus 9, which is also 4. So this is, you could say the interquartile range is about 4 hours that the candle will burn. All right, get going on your assignment number 1. Good luck, guys.